Hi everybody, this is Julissa. Thank you everybody for coming back to my channel. Today is the 11th of February 2021. As you guys can see, I'm here at the studio in downtown Danbury. Wanted to come here and make a quick video. I was reading an article about a church. I'm not sure exactly where it was. In Atlanta, just got it. A church in Atlanta is being put under fire in the sense that they basically got in trouble for accepting a homosexual member into their congregation. This is a family that moved, and now they ask the pastor if they can be members of their church. A marriage of a man, and they have kids also. So here's the thing. This is why I wanted to talk about it, because I don't know if you guys seen in the past, I believe early last year, I made a couple videos about homosexuality, and I think I made a series of videos, so I encourage you to take a look at that. We all know it's very clear what the Bible says about homosexuality and laying down with the same the person of the same sex, and we all know what sin is and all of that. The issue that I have with this is about rejection in general. I think that we as Christians should not be it's so strange with this topic, because it's you're hitting the fine line where people are gonna get like, oh, why you're accepting it? No, that's not the point of it. But then we don't want anybody to be rejected. I think the feeling of rejection is catastrophic, and it can also lead people to never ever getting to the cross of Christ. If you understand what I'm talking about, if you believe in yourself that you are, if you know that you're a Christ believing person, and you are believing in yourself that you shouldn't be even around these people, and we understand we're not supposed to mix with unbelievers. I get that, but the only way that you can reach to people like that is to get to know them, right? You can be going around two people and being just like, I'm better and you're not, so stay away from me. I feel like in these days, the last days that we're living in, a lot of people are so concerned about their reputation, so much so that they have different lives. There is a life that they portray on their Facebook, they portray on their Instagram, social media, and then there's a life that that person is. And you have to be so careful with that, because first of all, you're not fooling anybody. God sees and God knows your intentions. So the thing that I have with rejecting, I mean, they're not even, they already got it's a Baptist church in Atlanta. They already got like backlash from the Baptist organizations that manage the churches. I don't know what their name is, but the crazy thing about it is like the thing, and I always say this to everybody I talk to. I think the big issue with homosexuality sin is the fact, guys, that it is a visible sin. You cannot expect somebody to show up at a church and say, I just moved to the area, can I be a member? But if they look normal, you're like, sure, you guys can come in. And then you don't know if that person, the last thing they did before they come into the church was stealing. You don't know if that person lies. You don't know if that person has a crazy envy, if they envy others, if they have hate towards others, if they're liars, if they steal money. I feel like these days everybody's so good at hiding who they truly are. And the thing, I always feel for the people who are homosexual, because we do in the church, we do categorize them as they're already in hell. You know what I mean? Like, they're already in hell. First of all, who gave you the levels of sin? I think sin is sin in front of God's eyes. Just because you see somebody who has a homosexual lifestyle sitting next to you, doesn't mean he's sinning any different than the person who's sitting on the other side of you, who perhaps, like I was saying before, lies, steals, is cheating on their spouse, who has envy, who has hate within their heart, but they're so good at hiding it. Like I said before, these days anybody can become anything. People are so concerned with their reputation, they will never put a photo online when they're not looking 100%. They will tell you what you want to hear. I mean, people use flattery to get ahead, to get friends, to get followers. I mean, flattery is killing these days. There are people who never met you, who know nothing about you, and they immediately just start saying, "Oh, I love everything you do. I love this," and like, do you even know who I am? Like, flattery just to get something out of you. And people fall for that, especially these days. People fall for flattery because everybody's so in love with themselves. I mean, take a look at Instagram. Spend 30 minutes looking at people's profiles on Instagram. There is a quote that says, we know what you like because we see what you photograph the most, something like that. But then all you see are people's selfies online now these days, and I can be guilty of that too. So I'm saying, like, you have to be so careful with these last days that we're living in. I think vanity and self-love and this, lovers of selves, being cold and everything, that the Bible talks about that people are being cold. And the reason I feel like we see it these days because now people no longer care anymore. Like, they just want to get ahead, so they don't care if you feel bad about what they say to you. They're gonna say it no matter what. They don't care if you like 50 of their photos, and they will never like your photo. And that's, they don't care if you get offended and if you black them. They don't care anymore. It's lovers of self. The love of others will turn to cold. Everything is biblical. And what I'm talking about this church in Atlanta, yes, we know that homosexuality is a sin. It's very clear in the Bible. But I feel like rejecting somebody because of a visible sin that you're able to see it, because when somebody's homosexual, it's very easy to tell. And maybe 90% of them, because they dress differently. You see the woman who is a lesbian, she acts very manly too. They cut their hair, they shape their hair. I am getting into a lot of more details that I wanted to talk about, but I made some videos to you guys so you guys can see what I mean. It's basically changing everything that God gave you. And that to me, it is crazy. But we live in a broken and a fallen world, and you have to remember that. But I feel like going back to this article about the church, how they are coming across this backlash because they think they wanted to accept this couple, and they were asking the pastor, is the family gonna feel welcome here? I don't understand. Guys, how you are going to, like, for anybody, and even if we do it, with our mind, God sees it. For anybody to think, oh, those people, they're so bad, they're gonna go straight to hell because look how they're doing, look how they're living, they're homosexuals. Yeah, your friend and your other friend, like, you and your friend spend hours and hours gossiping about everybody, lying, stealing money. And just because you're able to hide it so well doesn't take away the fact that it's a sin. And that's where I have the problem with this whole idea, how homosexuals are always so rejected so quick. And you see, one, and I'm telling you because I go with church groups, I've seen the talks, and you hear the people talking. I mean, not recently, but I've been around people, and I hear when somebody comes into the church. I used to go to a very like, how do you say, like, old-fashioned church, the long skirts and the long hair, no makeup type of thing. And somebody who walked in, perhaps looking very homosexual, the pastor, he probably was not even going to talk about it then. immediately turns to that topic. And it's like, not only are you, like, you already made it to the church, like you already put that in yourself, because God obviously put that desire in you, and you're like, okay, I'm gonna go to church. And here you are in church, and people start looking at you, because that's the other thing. They will start looking at that person. They will, like, maybe, call that person, making signs behind them. And then the pastor would immediately shift that, you know whatever he was going to talk about, shifted to homosexuality, sin. Yet this new person that you don't even know their name yet, because they just walked in and you're already up there preaching, and then you basically ignoring everybody else's sin because you don't know it, you don't see it. And that's the thing that I don't like. That's the thing that I don't like about it, because we're so quick to judge something that's visible. And I think that's the issue with homosexuality. Yes, it is a sin. Yes, it's in the Bible. But we're so quick to hammer it down, making it seem like it's not, it's the only sin, when there's a, we know what sin is. There's so many of them. So, like, that's why we need the grace of God every day, guys. So I feel like I want to ask you guys what you guys think about it. I don't know if you heard about this church in Atlanta, and it's just the whole idea of homosexuality, and the way is the churches receive it. I'm not saying for tomorrow to the church to stop putting up their flag and saying, everybody's welcome. Nothing like that. But how are you going to be the example to somebody to come to Christ if you already shutting down the door on them, even if they show up for service? Like, I don't understand how you're going to be the example for that. I think the best thing, and yes, of course, I'm just anybody here talking, is putting them into counseling. But you have to do the same thing with people who are also liars, who are envy, who have vanity issues. I mean, people are using their money on shopping, So strange for me to say that, because, like I told you guys, I do sell, but there are people who have a shopping addiction. That's vanity. And the vanity of just taking photos of yourself every day, posting the outfit of the day, that's vanity. Your love with yourself, lover of self. And I feel like things like that should be also in counseling, just as homosexuality sin, and people who have a shopping addiction. It could be so many things that are so overlooked, because for some reason the church has given a level of it has developed a level of severeness to sin, you know so I just wanted to share that with you guys, my thoughts about this, and I hope you guys have something to say. Please share with your friends and family, and I hope to see you in the next video. God bless.